What's going on, everyone? Slav here, and we got some things to talk about. We got some debunking of ridiculous grifters on the internet. We got some Supergirl news that may or may not be good to hear. We also have some Man of Tomorrow information, and I am going to give my early prediction on how much Supergirl is going to make overall at the box office. So sit back, relax, and let's dive in. Alright, first up, like I said, I want to debunk a ridiculous grifter. Jody's Corner, who honestly has been one of the most ridiculous YouTubers in the last 10-15 years. I remember during the release the Snyder Cut phase, he was adamantly against the whole idea of it happening. He was saying that it didn't exist and all that kind of stuff. I mean, that's the kind of person he was at that time. And he got some, I guess, following because he had put on a decent production with his show. Besides that, though, he has very little to offer to pop culture fans at all. So here we sit, and Cinesource, who is another grifter out there who tries to act like, hey, everything is bad and the sky is falling when it comes to DC, posted a rumor saying Man of Tomorrow funding will be cut substantially if Supergirl bombs at the box office. Because David Cornswet is in Supergirl and he's the star of Man of Tomorrow, studio heads are already looking to make financial cuts for the Superman sequel. Right off the bat, I want to say this. That is absurd. That's asinine. The budget for Man of Tomorrow is already designated. Like, that is there. It is the budget for Man of Tomorrow. That's what it's going to be. James Gunn will probably come in under budget. He has a habit of doing that with his films. So regardless of what Cinesource is going to say, they're going to be like, "Oh, I told you we were right if that information ever comes out." That's just not the case. Now, what Jody Corners then says is, while I cannot corroborate this entire rumor, I don't know where you're going to corroborate anything, because the only connection you had at Warner Brothers was Patty Jenkins, because you got invited to her set for some. I don't even understand what that was, but he took a picture with Patty Jenkins, and he thinks that he's an insider now, but that's beside the point. He says, I can, however, verify that WB are scared of James Gunn's Man of Tomorrow box office potential after they were unhappy with Superman 615-618 box office run. Zaslav was especially unpleased. None of that is true. Look, we've explained this ad nauseum for quite some time, okay? First off, the DCU in this early stage is an investment. They understand that they're not going to make $900 million, $1 billion with these first few films, even the first handful, probably 5-6 films. That's just not going to happen, unless they put a Justice League, which I think a Justice League movie will hit that mark. However, you need to understand, the DCEU was a mess. It was a disgrace. It was disgusting. And the fans, the audience, they checked out of DC. And then you're upstarting a brand new universe. So you have that going on. Not only that, though, this is an era where the superhero genre is just kind of not what it was. I wrote an article over at bridgingtogeekdoms.com you can go check out that talks about that, how from the 20-teens things were booming for the superhero genre, but now in the 2020s it's not the case. So to sit there and act like, oh, the studio doesn't see that and they're upset that Superman only made $618 million, well, that's just absurd. That's asinine. Would they want it to make more? Absolutely. Every studio wants their movies to make a buttload of money, but they had a realistic goal for this film. They truly did. It broke a bunch of records when it first came out. The first few weeks it was just breaking records, and then it broke records on streaming or on digital. Like, it was a hit. It was a huge hit, and it did not disappoint Warner Brothers, or quote-unquote studio heads, which is James Gunn and Peter Safran. So, when you sit back, that's just all poppycock. And then he goes, just like I was right when I announced Waller was shelved 2 years ago. Well, here's a nice little tidbit that I can completely negate anything this man says and explain to you that, guys, just don't even pay attention to this grifter. Because he says 2 years ago. 2 years ago, it is May 26, 2026. Right now is recording. 2 years ago, but it would have been 2024, correct? May of 2024. However, in June of 2025, James Gunn confirmed that the Viola Davis-Waller series is, in fact, still in development. Now, since then, we haven't heard much about the show being in development or not being in development. And here's the thing. That announcement or that slate or whatever you want to call it that he did in, 2023, June 2023 or whatever it was. I don't remember what it was. Or January of 2020, whatever. But that specific, that first announcement that he really made, he wasn't sitting there saying these projects are 100% coming out. He said, hey, this is what we're looking at doing. The Authority, we know, has kind of been shelved. It's not an active development. They couldn't crack the nut, and so they're kind of like moving on. Like, let's do other things. But then you have things like Clayface, which wasn't initially part of their slate, their idea, but they got a great script, and they're like, we're going to make it. Almost happened with Sergeant Rock as well. That's okay. That's going to happen. So if Waller doesn't happen, it is what it is. But the fact of the matter right here is, I'm just proving to you that this guy's just a grifter. He's just looking for people to click on his videos. And what's really bizarre is he's aligning himself with the same fandom that he belittled and trashed and hated on for so long. It's kind of despicable, but hey, that's typically what you get from YouTubers nowadays. Alright, but let me know your thoughts. I want to know what you guys think about this. Do you think Jody Corner and Cinesource is onto something? Look, Man of Tomorrow budget is what it is, and that's going to move forward, and it's going to be what it is. The Supergirl, here's the thing, with Supergirl, the success or fail of Supergirl is going to probably, it's probably going to show us whether Safran and Gunn stay longer term. So that's just what I think. Now, again, I think Supergirl's going to do fine, but we're going to get into that in a moment. But let me know your thoughts. I want to know what you guys think about this in the comments below. Next up, we got James Gunn confirming that Rachel Brosnahan has filmed plenty for Man of Tomorrow already. Kim Stipated, there we go. Names. Asked James Gunn on Threads, apologies because this is getting annoying. Sorry, but can we have a Lois Man of Tomorrow update? Will she have a good part or inconsequential minor role on this one, seeing as she's not filmed anything yet? Thank you. Now, I don't know where this Kim Stipated got this information from. Could it be from one of the many, many grifters that are out there, and they were probably saying, oh, Lois is going to have no part in this movie because look at all the other characters in it. That's probably what happened. Maybe not. Maybe Kim's just, hey, I think that, we haven't heard an update with her being, on set or anything like that, so maybe that's what it is. But James Gunn just confirms, look, she's filmed plenty already, and why do you think she hasn't? Again, people need to, and nothing against Kim Stipated here, but people need to relax. People need to understand that James Gunn is a fantastic storyteller. We've seen this with countless movies of his. He's going to handle these characters appropriately, with care, and how they should be handled. And yeah, that's what's going to be happening. But let me know your thoughts. Are you excited that Rachel has filmed a lot already for the film? Are you hoping to see her a lot in the movie? What are your expectations for Lois Lane in Man of Tomorrow? Let me know your thoughts down below. Moving on to Supergirl. We got Supergirl tickets. Now, it's weird. It's crazy. Oh, look, I could be talking about this and it'd be for naught, because honestly, I'm recording this in the morning. Tickets could go on sale later today. But rumor had it leading up to today of recording, May 26th, that tickets for Supergirl were supposed to go on sale today. There is now a rumor going around on the internet that the tickets have been delayed for going on sale, possibly to June 3rd. And the reason for it is because Toy Story is going to do their pre-sale starting on May 27th. I don't know if that is a problem. Like, personally, I don't think it is. Like, people who want to see Toy Story are going to see Toy Story. People who want to see Supergirl are going to see Supergirl. Plain and simple. If you want to see the movie, you're going to see the movie. And Supergirl hits a slightly different demographic than Toy Story, but not completely. I get that. Look, here's the one thing I know. My 5-year-old daughter, we were in the theater watching Mandalorian and Grogu the other day, and we got a trailer for Supergirl and Toy Story. Do you want to know the one that she is most excited about? Supergirl. It's not because she doesn't like Toy Story, but she doesn't have that connection with it. She didn't grow up with Toy Story. She hasn't sat there and watched all the Toy Stories over the years and getting excited about them coming out. However, last year, what did she go see? Superman. And who did she see in Superman? Crypto. And she sees that in the trailer again, and she sees that it's connected to Superman, and she's automatically invested and excited. Now, that's not to say that other kids aren't going to be excited about Toy Story. They very well could be, but I also think they're going to be excited about Supergirl. And that's kind of the whole idea here is Supergirl is going to get people to go see the movie. They're going to. Whether the tickets go on sale today, whether they go on sale on June 3rd, people are going to buy the tickets that want to see the movie. And typically the pre-sales are for the diehards anyways. Like, they're for the ones that want to be there first showing, first day, first night, all that kind of stuff. That's what the pre-sales typically are for. Sure, people buy the weekend's worth and things like that because they just want to get it. Like, I want to get them and get it out of the way. But most people, the general audience, buys day of, or sometimes the day before. So when you sit down and think about it, this is a nothing burger of a story. This is just people trying to push this whole agenda and idea that Supergirl is not going to do well. Again, it's very possible that Warner Brothers or DC Studios was like, look, let's just kind of hold off a little bit. Let's let people, let their pocketbooks breathe a little bit. Let them pay for their Toy Story tickets and then, a week later get the Supergirl ones. That's possible. But is it because they're afraid of Toy Story? No. They know people are going to see Supergirl that want to see it, and people are going to see Toy Story that want to see it. It's just that simple. So again, people love to try and twist and make these conspiracy theories out of nothing, but let's face it, this is a nothing burger. But let me know your thoughts down below. Do you think the tickets will go on sale today? Probably when you see this. We'll know whether or not the tickets are on sale today. But do you think that's a big deal? Do you think Toy Story's going on sale tomorrow could hurt the Supergirl tickets going on sale today? Or do you think it'll be better for it to wait a week? Let me know your thoughts down below. Finally, guys, I want to talk about this. The final box office prediction. I mean, this is my early final box office prediction, I guess I could say. Because I'm 98% sure that this is what the box office is going to look like come the end of Supergirl's run. Now, you can head over to bridgingtogeekdoms.com, formerly slavsfreetalk.com, which you can use both addresses if you need to. But I wrote this article because I wanted to explain the whole idea behind this and why I believe it's going to make the money that it makes. The big thing is, one, you have to remember that Supergirl currently has roughly like $170 million budget. So that's not bad. I mean, that's what you would expect for a movie of this caliber. Now, Supergirl also isn't as big as Superman. So to sit there and expect that it's going to hit the Superman numbers or better, that's kind of like, why would you think that? Like, that's not going to happen. On top of that, it's still a young universe. I just talked about it a little bit ago in this video. Supergirl is the second movie in this universe, coming out of a DCEU a few years ago that was trash, nobody liked, and coming off of, or in the middle, I'm sorry, not coming off of, but in the middle of a very, very downturn for superhero genre. Another thing that I have to mention, and I look, whether it's right or wrong to mention it, you have to mention it. This is a female-led superhero film. And over the last number of years, those have not boded well. Really, just superhero films or pulp culture films in general. Look at The Acolyte. Look at the Marvels. Look at Black Widow didn't do great, but that was a day-and-date release. Things like that, just they are not doing great. Some of them do, some of them don't. So keep that in mind. But the big thing is, remember, Supergirl is not Superman. So to expect it to make the kind of money that Superman did just isn't realistic, okay? Now, I believe, and I wrote an article the other day about this, that Supergirl is going to have an opening weekend, most likely between $60 and $75 million. Could do better, could do worse. I understand that. I really think it's going to be more on the higher end of that, probably 70 to 75, and I think that's damn good. I think that is excellent for this movie. Because you figure that, and this is domestic numbers, mind you, this is domestic numbers. If it hits 70 million, let's just say 70 million on week 1, and let's say it has like a 50% drop in week 2, that means it's going to be at $100 million domestically by week 2. Now, what's it going to do internationally? I'm not sure. They are pushing the marketing pretty hard internationally, more so than I think they pushed Superman last year, but I think it's going to do well. I think you could probably see a good, 1 to 2 week turnaround for Supergirl internationally. That's going to be maybe about 150. I believe that. So you're looking at, after 2 weeks, it's going to be around $250 million, if not more. Honestly, I think it's very, very possible for that to happen. Now, where does this end up? Because let's not forget, look, you're talking about a time where movies are in the theaters exclusively for only 30 to 45 days. Superman had a 30-day exclusive run. Is Supergirl going to have the same? I hope it doesn't. I hope they do push the 45-day exclusive mark for Supergirl, because I think that'll help its box office, and they need that. But it very well could come out of theaters, at least exclusively in theaters. It won't be exclusive after 30 days. If that's the case, that's gonna hurt its box office, but that doesn't mean it's not successful. Look at Superman. Superman was still successful, still made money, did great digitally, did great streaming, merchandise, everything. That's how it works. So, if Supergirl opens around 60 million, we'll take the low of my estimation here. A normal multiplier could place the domestic total between 160 and 180 million, with a worldwide finish somewhere between 350 to 425. If it lands closer to the 75 million with stronger word of mouth, which I think it's going to land closer to the 75, the domestic run could push to 200 million, while the worldwide totals could reach 450 to 525. Right around what I've been kind of expecting for quite some time. I think word of mouth is going to be big for this movie. This is the kind of movie that needs word of mouth, because it is a character-driven story. You can tell that from the trailers and the previews. And a lot of time, the character-driven stories are hard to sell through marketing. It happens. So I think, realistically, this is going to be about word of mouth. And I think those first couple screenings that people see, the pundits, not the influencers, but like the pundits, the real journalists, when they come out, if they give it, hey, thumbs up, in a thumbs up, thumbs down world, if they give it a thumbs up, I think it's going to hit 75. I do. I think it'll hit 75 in that opening weekend, and possibly go to around 500 in the final box office. So this is my opinion. I think opening weekend, you're looking at 60 to 75. I really think that's what it's going to be. I think it's going to be on the higher end, closer to 75. Domestic total, it's 170 to 220, with the higher end being around 2 to 220 is what I think it's going to hit, with a worldwide total of 400 to 525, probably closer to 500. Now, that's my speculation. That's what I think is going to happen. Over the next month, over the next 3 weeks, we're going to start to see ticket sales. We're going to start to see the reviews. We're going to start to see all this stuff, and this could absolutely change. I could change my mind and think it could go down. It could go up, either way. But I wasn't far off from Superman. Let's not forget, like Superman, my prediction was 7 to 750. Sure, it hit 618, but I mean, I wasn't that far off. And again, I think it probably could have hit that 7 or gotten closer to 7 had they kept it in theaters exclusively longer. But that's just my thought, my opinion. But guys, I want to know what you guys think. I want to know what you think the opening box office will be, and the opening weekend box office will be, and the total box office when the run is over. Again, we're not holding you to this. Put your guess down below, what you think it can make, and why. Why do you think it can make that? I'd love to hear your thoughts and reasonings for this. So let me know your thoughts down below. And I do want to say this. If it hits 450, if it hits 500, it's not a flop. It's not a flop. So people, look, I know you guys want to quickly, there's some of you out there that quickly want to say this movie's going to flop, but I can assure you right now, if it hits 400 to 500 or more, it's not a flop. Thanks for watching, guys. Make sure you hit that like button and subscribe. Check out the Snyder Effect. Go buy the Snyder Effect on Amazon right now. It covers the entire history of the DCEU, from the beginnings to the end. what happened, why it happened, how it happened, so on and so forth. Pick it up on Amazon.com now. With all that said, guys, I'll catch you all later.